Hello guys, Pluto here, and welcome to episode 3 of how to create a Minecraft mod for Fabric Mod Loader 1.16.2. Wait, no, 1.16.3 just came out. Yes, that's what we need to do. So this episode we are going to be creating a custom block, but first, 1.16.3 just came out. And, well, this mod we've been making is for 1.16.2. How do you change what version it's for? Well, that is simple. So, go to the link in the description or search Fabric versions on wherever and go to this link right here. So just the first link in the description and choose 1.16.3 and go down to the Gradle.properties and also open Gradle.properties in your project. Because this is what we edited at the very beginning of the series to set our things to load in 1.16.2. Well, now we need to load it in 1.16.3. So again, copy the first 3 lines and then go down to here and paste them. And I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but hit tab on these 3. I don't know if it does anything bad if you don't, but just to be safe. And then also copy Fabric API and put that right here. And also do that. And then, now we're not done, because this little, whenever you edit this file or the build.gradle file, this little icon up here, load Gradle changes, will pop up. It basically refreshes the Gradle changes, so now we can refresh this, and even though 1.16.3 was just bug fixes, you do still need to, if you want your mod to be in the latest version, you still do need to do this, because it will not work with 1.16.3 if it's made for 1.16.2. So you will see this little bar down here. If you want to see what's going on, you can open this up, and all it's doing is just refreshing all of the Gradle projects. So now you just have to wait for this to finish, and then you will be good, and you can do this for any version. Like, say your mod is for 1.15.2, and you realize you want to make it for 1.16.3, then all you do is you go to the Fabric Versions website and copy those things, and then reload the Gradle changes, and then you get this right here. So, yes, so now we can make a custom block. And as you can see, Minecraft does say 1.16.3, so we are now in 1.16.3 in our mod. So now we can start making a block. So I'm just going to close up all of these. And making a block is slightly more complicated than making an item. But that is to be expected. So, first, what you need to do is go to the blocks directory we made in the first episode, and right-click and create a new Java class. And you will want to name this what you want to name your block. So I'm gonna just say like Ruby or, because we're gonna be creating 2 types of blocks in this episode. A block that drops itself and a block that drops other items. Sort of like an either we'll be creating an Minecraft or we'll be creating like iron ore or something like that, or just like a diamond block or whatever, like a ruby block is what I'll be creating. So you have your class and you want to extend it from block and make sure to, nope, that's the wrong block. Do not import jdk.nashorn.internal.ir block. You need to import net.minecraft.block. And it will give you an error. This is the same type of error as the one that we got while creating the item. Do not fix it the way it wants you to. Create a new line inside and type public ruby or whatever you named your class, and open and closing parentheses, and inside of the brackets type super and then settings, and then so it's super settings, which with a capital S. Make sure you have a capital S, because then it won't work. And you want to do dot and then of. And inside of here is where we will create our block. So first, what you want to do is type the materials. So settings.of is going to basically take a certain block material and use it to create your block, but then you're going to add your own custom settings. There is settings.copy, which completely copies another block, and then, yeah, if you want to create a copy of another block. But we're going to create our own custom block, so we're not going to do that. So we're going to do settings.of, and you have to type material, which means you need to import this, aka net.minecraft.block.material, and then add a dot after that, and choose from any one of these that you think would best suit your block you're creating. I am going to do, where is it? I am going to do stone because I'm making an ore that's going to appear underground. So I'm going to do material.stone, but you can do whatever you feel suits your block. Then outside of these parentheses, but not outside of the super parentheses, you need to add another dot, and this is where you add your settings. So in here, you can add, say, drops nothing, which would make it drop nothing, or light level to make it output a light level, or jump velocity multiplier, which will make them, like, if you land on it, it'll be sort of like a slime block. If you land on it, it'll multiply your jump velocity by whatever you put in as the float. Or then there's a requires tool, but we need to add a few things. So there's first, oh, hold on. Delete all of that, I just realized. Instead of settings, type fabric block settings, and then you can do the of material, and I'm going to do material.stone. Yeah, so instead of settings, do fabric block settings. Everything else is going to be completely the same. It just adds a little bit more help. So add a dot, and what you want to type is you want to type break by hand, and in here will either be true or false. If you want them like a wood block, you would want to have true and break by hand, because then you can break it with your hand and still get items. For me, I'm going to do false. And then add another dot and do break by tool. And this is where you're going to import a tool that you want to break it with. Now, first you need to type fabric tool tags and make sure to import fabric tool tags. And then dot, and then you can do hoes, pickaxes, axes, shears, shovels, or swords. I am going to do pickaxes. And then this is all you really need, but if you want, you can add a common space after that, and you can choose a mining level. Mining level is basically what kind of, like, the level of the item you have to have. Like, by default, mining level 0 means you can mine it with all of the pickaxes. Mining level 1 would mean you can mine it with all but the wooden pickaxe. So then the mining level goes up for each one. Then gold comes after wooden, then there's stone, then iron. Wait, I think. Hold on. I'm gonna search up mining levels guide. Mining level guide. I will also put this link in the description. Nope, that's not right. Mining level guide, Minecraft. Okay. So we are going to go to. Actually, maybe I should have found a link for this. Okay, hold on, let me find a good link. Okay, so I couldn't end up finding a link for that, but I'm pretty sure that gold in mining levels comes after wood, but before stone, and then stone, then iron, then diamond, then netherite. I know the order of everything except for where gold is. So, but I'm pretty sure that it's 0 to 4. Yeah, 0, 1, 2, yeah, 0 to 4, I'm thinking. So, basically, for this, adding your mining level, I am going to make it so I'm going to do 4, because I only want you to be able to mine it with netherite. Then outside of these parentheses is where you can add your custom settings like non-opaque, break instantly, air drops, and this is not where you call an item, this is where you call a drop table ID in here, which is automatic, so you don't really need to add this, because it's already going to drop something. So then there's also slipperiness, sounds that it plays. Actually, I'm going to change the sound group. So basically what you want to do is if you're adding a custom sound group, you're going to do sound group, and it's going to be block sound group, and then these are your different sections of sound groups. So, like, I'm gonna do the sound groups of gravel because, no, I'm gonna do the sound group of honey because why not? So, we have block sound group dot honey, and then don't forget the semicolon at the end of the line. So, this is all for now, but now we need a texture. So, what I would do is I would pull up a pixel art editor, and the texture should be 16 by 16. So, see you there in a second. Okay, so we have a picture of diamond ore up on our pixel art editor, and we are going to basically edit this to be my ruby ore. And I will put together a GitHub link of all of the ore textures for Minecraft if you want to edit one of those. So, we are just going to do some pixel art real quick, so give me a second. I actually decided I was going to edit the emerald ore texture, so that's what I did, and now I have ruby ore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this, and so now we have this image right here of our ruby ore. So what you want to do is you want to go to IntelliJ, and in your assets folder you have your models and textures folder. In each of those, in models, you want to add a new directory called block, singular. Think of it like this. In models, the singular folders go. In textures, the plural folders go. So then in here, we will add blocks. So then you want to drag this image right here over and hover over top of blocks in textures and hit Control so the move changes to copy and then release. Then you can name this to what you're going to name your thing. So I'm going to do ruby underscore ore. And now you have this image in here. Now you want to go to the block folder under models, and you want to add a new file and call it what you're going to name your block. And so I'm going to do ruby underscore ore.json. And this is a JSON file, so don't forget all of the syntax, but you want to type, parent, and then you want to type Minecraft is type Minecraft, and then cube/all. And then you also want to type textures, and then in here you want to type all, and then you want to add the path to this image right here. So tutorial mod item, no, this one is blocks / ruby ore. And again, you do not need to add the PNG. So your model file for your block should look something like this. So Minecraft cube all, and then blocks ruby ore. But this is not all, because for blocks we also have to give it a block state. So under your mod ID under assets, you want to add a new directory and call it block states. And then in this folder, add a new file and call it whatever you named your ruby or your block. So ruby ore.json. And in here you want to add a variance, and then under here you want to so in here you want to add two completely empty quotes and more opening and closing brackets, and then type model. And then you want to do the path to this model file under models. So what you're going to do is you're going to do your mod ID, and then you're going to do block for this block folder, because it's immediately going to go to the models folder. So you're going to want to do block and then / whatever this folder name, the file name is, without the .json, so ruby_or. Now you can save all, but we're not done yet, because now we have to register our block. But there are two different things we have to do in order to register our block. We have to register the block itself, and then we have to register a block item for the creative inventory. So, in your modblocks.java file, you want to add a public, and this is outside of register block, so public static final block, and make sure to import net.minecraft.block, not the other one. And then name it what you're going to name your thing. So I'm going to do ruby or, and then set it to a new, and then whatever this file is. So new ruby or. So it should look something like this. Now under register blocks, you need to add a registry and import this registry. So registry.register, and then registry.block, and then new identifier, and do your mod ID variable that we set in last episode, and then add the path that you named in each of these, so ruby_or. And then outside of here, you want to pass in your variable right here. So we're going to do ruby or. But this is not all. This has only registered the block. This means that we're going to have a block, but it's not going to have a creative inventory tab. And that is a problem. So now what we need to do is we need to go to the models folder right here, and we need to go under item and add a new file. I just chose the wrong one. New file, and call it your path, so ruby or, and then .json. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do parent, and then you're gonna do the path to this file right here. So tutorial mod block / ruby or. I think this is how you do it. Let me check. So this is how you do it, and now we have a block item model, but we don't have the block item itself. So go back to mod blocks, and underneath this you want to do registry.register, and you want to do registry.item. So we're gonna register an item inside of mod blocks, but don't worry, because it's fine. And we're gonna add a new identifier, and we're gonna copy this part up here completely. So what you can just do is copy and then paste, because we're copying that completely. But what changes is right here. So instead of passing in this variable, you add a new and then block item. And what you're gonna do in here is you're gonna pass in ruby or your variable for that, and then you're gonna do new item.settings, and this is where you're gonna set the group that it will appear in, so .group, and then in here you can put in your item group, so I'm gonna put it under building blocks. And so now you should have a block and a block item that will appear in the creative inventory. So let's load Minecraft. And I've just realized I made a mistake. So in your models folder under block, in this thing, it's not Minecraft cube /all, it's Minecraft block /cube _all. And if you got any errors, that's why I just realized that I made that mistake. So here we are in Minecraft, and if you load the world you made, also you will get this message, just hit I know what I'm doing. So if you load the world, then you should be able to find that, just wait for it to load. So, basically, if you open up your inventory, whoa, I need to pick all these up, oof. Okay, we're gonna clear my inventory. So if you go into the tab you put it under and scroll all the way to the bottom, you will find your block. And it will have this weird name, and I'll show you how to fix that in a second. But you can tell, this literally doesn't seem right. Listen. Yeah, this is not right. I mean, it's correct because this is what I set the sound group to be. But yeah, it will pull the sounds from the sound group of the block. Yeah. So, since I set honey block sounds, it doesn't sound right. It just doesn't, it gives me this weird feeling because I know it's made of stone. Why does it sound like that? But anyway, you have this correct block. And now, but if we go into survival, let me just grab a pickaxe, then, well, nothing happens. So, now we have to give it a loot table so that it drops stuff. And we can also set, I forgot something, so, yes, so quit Minecraft and go over to your block file of this thing, and just to clean things up, I am going to just do this. This isn't doing anything different, it's just making it look cleaner. Nothing's gonna happen, even if I do this, nothing's gonna break, it's just, I'm making it look cleaner. So I forgot that you need to add a dot strength, and this is where you add hardness and blast resistance. So hardness is how long it takes to break, and this is a float, so I'm gonna do 0.5F. And then for resistance is like blast resistance. So I'm going to do 10.0F. And now it will take some time to break it instead of breaking instantly. But now we need to add a loot table. Just don't worry about that. I just need to do that. So yeah, now we need to add a loot table for a block. So under your data folder, in your namespace folder, what you need to add is a new directory, and you need to call it loot_tables. And under here, you need to add a new folder calling it blocks. And in this folder, you need to add a new file and call it whatever you set your block ID to be. So Ruby or and then .json. This is a JSON file. So now you have this file, and we're going to use a website to generate this file for us. So just search on Google. I'm going to give you this link. So in the description, this link will be in the description for a loot table for Java Edition generator. And this is where we are going to create our loot table. So change this type to block, and then this is where we're going to add our items. So first we're doing an ore block. So we're gonna do an item, and we're going to, the name does not matter because it does not actually, yeah, so we can input our thing. So I'm gonna have this thing drop the piece of parchment. I'm gonna make it drop a ruby later, but for now, piece of parchment, because why not? And we're going to, it's going to only drop one, and we don't want that. We want to add a function and set it. By default, it will be set count, and this is what you want, set count. And then you can choose the count, and you can choose an exact, which is a certain number, so like 5. Or you can choose uniform, which is like minimum maximum. Or you can choose binomial, which I'm not sure what that was. Don't worry about that. So I'm gonna have it drop anywhere from 1 to 5 ruby, well, pieces of parchment, because why not? And you can also make it drop other stuff by clicking this add entry button. And it will basically add another entry that you can edit. But I'm gonna remove that because I don't want it. And then the output's right here. I'm gonna select this entire thing. Oh wait, there's a copy button. We can just select copy. And then we can go back to IntelliJ, and in this file we made, we can just paste it. So now we have this. So, oh, and also I inputted the mod ID wrong, so tutorial mod. So now we have this. So now we can run Minecraft. So here we are in Minecraft, and if we load our world, then, whoa, and let me just give myself some of those blocks. So ruby ore 64, and we can place down, I'm gonna just do this like I do on, oh my god, I can't get over this sound, it's, I need to change this. So I'm gonna do it like I do in Stridercraft, and we're gonna pillar up, and we're gonna destroy stuff. And as you can see, it is dropping a random amount. If we drop all of this, you can see we get 2 that time. This time, we get 3. This time, we get 5. So it's anywhere from 1 to 5. Because that's what I set it to be. Oh yeah, I forgot it's only stacked up to 16. Yeah, so it will give you the random amount you chose. But now we want to create a block that sort of like a ruby block. So first I'm going to quickly add a ruby. So I'm going to do that off camera because I already taught you guys how to add a custom item. So give me a second. So I added a quick block of a ruby block because I wanted to add a ruby block. I also added a ruby item. So I have a ruby item and a ruby block. So now I'm going to show you how to make it, because I'm going to show you how to make it so that it drops just the item itself, because it just breaks and doesn't drop anything. So let's go do that. So it's actually pretty similar to the other one. Just go to the loot table generator, and we're gonna add a new pool, and we're going to add an entry. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a new item, and we're gonna just do tutorial mod ruby block. Ruby block. Because all we're doing is we're just adding a thing that basically, and don't forget, and set the count as 1. It's actually really simple. I don't even know why I really needed to show it to you guys, because all you have to do is just add this. So then you hit copy, and then you go down to data, loot tables, blocks, and then new file, and call it ruby block.json, and then just paste. And there you have it. Now we have this, and if we run Minecraft, so now we are back in Minecraft, and if we go into survival mode and we destroy this, we actually get a ruby block back. So now we can actually place down and then destroy our ruby block. And now, I really shouldn't have to go over this, but just in case, I'm going to show you how to crafting recipe for a block. It's actually the exact same thing as a crafting recipe for an item. So I don't even know where I really need to show it to you guys. All you need to do is add a new recipes file. And you can call it whatever. I'm gonna call it Ruby block and make sure it's a JSON file. And then set the type to crafting or crafting shapeless or however you feel the need to set it. So we're gonna do Minecraft crafting shaped, and then set pattern with brackets instead of braces. Oh, and make sure you actually type it correctly. And then you just set the pattern. So we're going to do all of this because we're just going to do 9 rubies. And then the key of X and item tutorial mod Ruby, and then result item of a tutorial mod Ruby block, and then the count is going to be 1. So it's really easy, it's really simple. So the next thing we're going to add is actual names for our thing. So you go to your NUS file for your thing and you add a new line. First, let me just type this. I just need to name my Ruby. But, so how you name a block is different than an item. So instead of item dot that, you do block. So it's block dot your mod ID dot the block ID, so like Ruby or, and we're gonna do Ruby or, and then block dot tutorial mod dot Ruby block Ruby block. And while we're here, I might as well go to my Ruby or block and kind of change this to block sound group dot stone because that sounds so much better. So, and also I'm gonna go change this. So how to edit a loot table, all you have to do is you just have to open up the loot table file, and if you want to change the item that drops, you just, well, change it. So I'm just gonna change this from piece of parchment to Ruby, now that I have a Ruby. So now, let's go mine some rubies. Okay, so I've set up this little thing right here, so all we have to do is go into survival mode and start mining rubies. And I don't know why this thing is being so laggy. But the sad thing is, this ore will not generate in the real world, and I will be covering custom ore generation in my advanced blocks video. So, all you have to do is mine this up, and I'm gonna go and craft this. And if we craft 9 rubies, we get a ruby block. And as you can see, they now all have the correct name, which is exactly what we want. So we just made 11 ruby blocks. Oh, hi there. So, yes, so that is the video. So thanks so much for watching this modding tutorial video. And in the next one, we will be creating custom tools and armor. And I'm in spectator mode. Why am I? Oh yeah, I wanted to. Yes. So, in the next episode, we will be creating custom tools and armor for your mod. So, thanks so much for watching, and have a nice day. Goodbye.